Breaking news for every licensed driver in Canada. If you drive a car, truck, van, or even occasionally get behind the wheel, stop what you're doing and pay attention. Canada is rolling out major driving law changes in 2026, and these are not optional, not experimental, and not province-limited exceptions. These rules come with heavy fines, instant suspensions, vehicle impoundments, insurance consequences that last for years, and most importantly, millions of Canadians don't know about them yet. Today's video is not opinion. These are regulatory changes being enforced across Canada starting 2026. Stay with me till the end, because rule number 7 alone could cost drivers thousands of dollars, even if they believe they are fully legal. Why Canada is changing driving laws in 2026. Before we break down the rules, you need to understand why this is happening. Canada has seen rising accident rates, increased distracted driving cases, insurance fraud and uninsured driving, aging driver population, rapid growth in automated enforcement technology. Federal and provincial governments have agreed that traditional enforcement is no longer enough. So 2026 marks a shift toward digital verification, automated penalties, zero-tolerance enforcement, reduced human discretion, which means "I didn't know" will no longer be accepted. Starting in 2026, Canada is implementing a nationwide shift toward digital driver's license verification, which fundamentally changes how police confirm your legal right to drive during a traffic stop. Up until now, Canadian drivers only needed to physically present 3 documents: a valid driver's license card, an insurance slip, and vehicle registration. And if those documents appeared valid, the interaction usually ended there. Under the new 2026 system, however, police officers will no longer rely solely on what you show them in your wallet. Instead, they will cross-check your license status instantly through real-time digital databases linked directly to provincial and territorial licensing authorities. This means your license must be active, accurate, and digitally verified in the system at the moment you are stopped. If your license has expired, contains an outdated address, is flagged due to renewal delays, administrative errors, unpaid fees, or is simply not fully registered in the digital verification system, you can be classified as non-compliant, even if the physical card in your hand looks perfectly valid and unexpired. In practical terms, this creates a situation where a driver who believes they are fully legal can still face fines, warnings, or further enforcement actions purely because the digital system does not confirm their status, making database accuracy just as important as carrying the license itself. Under the new 2026 digital license verification system, penalties are no longer limited to simple warnings or small tickets. Drivers whose licenses do not appear as properly verified in the provincial digital database may face immediate fines starting in the hundreds of dollars, even if their physical driver's license card appears valid and unexpired. In many cases, officers will have the authority to issue a temporary driving prohibition, meaning you may be legally barred from continuing to drive until the verification issue is resolved. Drivers will also be given strict mandatory deadlines to complete digital verification, update records, or correct discrepancies such as address mismatches or outdated personal information. Failure to meet these deadlines can result in automatic escalation to full license suspension, additional fines, and further administrative penalties. These enforcement measures are expected to disproportionately affect drivers who have recently moved between provinces, seniors renewing their licenses, new immigrants unfamiliar with the Canadian licensing system, and drivers whose address or personal details have not been updated. The most critical point for Canadian drivers to understand is this: in 2026, your physical driver's license card alone will no longer be considered final proof of legal driving status. Digital verification will be the deciding authority. Rule number 2, distracted driving, tripled penalties. In 2026, Canada is introducing the most aggressive crackdown on distracted driving the country has ever seen, and this change goes far beyond texting behind the wheel. Under the new enforcement standards, distracted driving will be defined as any activity that takes a driver's hands, eyes, or attention away from operating the vehicle, even for a few seconds. This includes touching or tapping a mounted phone, scrolling or adjusting GPS directions, changing music or playlists, eating or drinking while the vehicle is in motion, or holding any electronic device for any reason. Importantly, being stopped at a red light or in slow traffic will no longer be a defense, as the vehicle is still considered in operation. Penalties for distracted driving are expected to increase sharply, with fines potentially tripling, additional demerit points being applied, and short-term license suspensions becoming more common, even for first-time offenders. With expanded use of high-resolution cameras and officer discretion, drivers may be penalized without a warning, making distracted driving one of the fastest ways to lose money, points, and driving privileges in Canada starting in 2026. Under the new distracted driving enforcement framework coming into effect in 2026, Canadian drivers should expect significantly harsher penalties than ever before. Fines for a single offense are projected to reach up to $1,000 or more, depending on the province, and may be accompanied by an immediate short-term driver's license suspension, even for first-time violations. In addition to financial penalties, drivers will face increased demerit points, which can quickly lead to higher insurance premiums or further licensing consequences. In many cases, offenders will also be required to complete mandatory driver education or distraction awareness programs at their own expense. These penalties will be enforced using advanced technology, as police services across Canada are deploying AI-assisted enforcement cameras, high-resolution imaging systems capable of detecting activity inside vehicles, and fully automated violation capture tools. As a result, drivers may receive citations without being stopped by an officer, meaning enforcement can occur remotely, continuously, and without warning, significantly increasing the likelihood of penalties for distracted driving. Rule number 3. Speed enforcement. No buffer anymore. Speed enforcement across Canada is entering a new phase where monitoring will be continuous, highly automated, and far less forgiving than in previous years. Refusing to comply with a roadside test will no longer be treated lightly. It can result in an immediate driver's license suspension, on-the-spot vehicle impoundment, and potential criminal charges under federal law. What makes these changes especially serious is that even first-time offenders will face much harsher consequences than before, including substantial fines, extended driving prohibitions, and mandatory installation of an ignition interlock device at their own expense before driving privileges are restored. On top of legal penalties, impaired driving convictions will have long-term financial impacts, as insurance premiums can double or even triple, and some drivers may struggle to find affordable coverage for years. This applies to alcohol, cannabis, prescription medication impairment. Rule number 5 focuses on winter tire compliance, and this is where enforcement becomes completely non-negotiable across Canada. Beginning in 2026, multiple provinces are tightening winter tire regulations by enforcing mandatory winter tire periods, requiring certified winter tires that meet approved safety standards, and setting a higher minimum tread depth to ensure proper traction in snow and icy conditions. All-season tires, even those marketed as winter-capable, may no longer qualify unless they meet specific certification requirements. Drivers found operating a vehicle without compliant winter tires during the designated period can face substantial fines, immediate vehicle impoundment, and serious insurance consequences. In the event of a collision, insurers may deny or reduce coverage if the vehicle is not equipped with approved winter tires, regardless of fault. These rules apply uniformly across provinces, meaning drivers in regions with milder winters are not exempt, and enforcement will rely on both roadside checks and automated monitoring systems. Rule number 6, license renewal process. No more quick renewals. Starting in 2026, the driver's license renewal process across many Canadian provinces is becoming significantly more strict and time-consuming. What was once a simple online or mail-in renewal will now often require drivers to appear in person at a provincial licensing office. During renewal, drivers may be required to complete a vision test, provide updated identification and photographs, and in some cases demonstrate basic knowledge of current traffic laws and regulations. The goal is to ensure that all licensed drivers remain medically fit, visually capable, and legally informed. Because of these added requirements, mail-in and quick online renewals will be limited or eliminated in several regions. Drivers who fail to renew their license on time may find their license automatically marked as invalid, exposing them to fines, penalties, or suspension if they continue to drive. This can also cause serious work and travel disruptions, especially for those who rely on driving for employment. With increased demand and fewer renewal options, longer wait times and appointment backlogs are expected, making early preparation essential for all Canadian drivers. Rule number 7, real-time insurance verification. Zero excuses. This is the rule that will shock most drivers. Canada is moving toward real-time insurance verification. Paper insurance slips may no longer be accepted. If your coverage is not visible in the system, has reporting delays, shows incorrect vehicle info, you may be treated as uninsured even if you paid. Penalties. Fines in the thousands. Immediate vehicle impoundment court appearances. License suspension risk. This places responsibility on you, not the insurance company. Who will be hit hardest by the 2026 driving law changes? The drivers most affected by Canada's 2026 driving law changes will be seniors, new and inexperienced drivers, rideshare and delivery workers, low-income motorists, and individuals who move between provinces. Senior drivers may face increased scrutiny during license renewals and medical or vision checks, while new drivers will experience longer timelines, stricter restrictions, and higher penalties for even minor violations. Rideshare and delivery drivers are at higher risk due to increased time on the road, expanded distracted driving enforcement, and tighter insurance verification systems. Low-income drivers may struggle the most with rising fines, mandatory winter tire requirements, vehicle compliance costs, and higher insurance premiums. Drivers who move between provinces may also be caught off guard by differing rules, shorter license exchange deadlines, and digital verification errors. Most importantly, even drivers with a clean record and perfect driving habits are not fully protected, as many penalties in 2026 will be triggered by technical, administrative, or digital compliance issues rather than unsafe driving itself. Final warning. The year 2026 marks the most significant transformation of driving enforcement in Canada in decades. This shift is no longer focused only on dangerous or reckless behavior behind the wheel. Instead, it is about strict compliance with digital systems, automated enforcement, and real-time data tracking. Whether it's your driver's license status, insurance verification, speed, distractions, or vehicle condition, everything is being monitored more closely and enforced more consistently than ever before. Human discretion is being reduced, and technology is now doing the enforcing. What this means for Canadian drivers is simple but serious. If you are informed, prepared, and compliant, you will continue driving without disruption. But if you are unaware of these changes, even a small oversight, an expired license detail, a reporting delay from your insurer, or a minor traffic violation could result in thousands of dollars in fines, immediate license suspension, vehicle impoundment, and long-term damage to your insurance record. These consequences don't disappear in a few weeks. They can follow you for years. Staying informed is no longer optional. It is essential. If this video helped you understand what's coming in 2026, hit the like button so this information reaches more Canadian drivers. Share this video with your family, friends, and anyone who drives in Canada, because most people still have no idea how big these changes are. And subscribe to the channel for clear, verified Canada-focused updates you can actually rely on. Leave a comment below and tell us, Which new driving rule concerns you the most? Drive safe, stay legal, and don't let 2026 catch you off guard. This video is for informational purposes only. Driving laws and penalties may vary by province or territory and can change at any time. This content is not legal advice. Always verify details with official Canadian government or provincial authorities.